We have cared for the earth since the beginning of time. We are the stewards, the caretakers, the keepers of the land, air, and water. We are the indigenous people of the world, and we are using our traditional ways and science to protect Mother Earth.
I'm Steve Sweetholt, and welcome to Down to Earth. Today on our show, we're heading to Arizona, where the Pima-Maricopa Indian community is protecting a herd of wild horses in their territory. We'll also travel to Belize, where we'll learn about Mayan plants and foods from the Garcia sisters. And later on the show, we'll meet Faith Gimmel, whose organization is taking on the fossil fuel industry in Alaska.
Long before the cities of Phoenix, Scottsdale, and Tempe sprung up in central Arizona, indigenous people farmed and hunted on this vast desert ecosystem. Today, the Salt River Pima-Maricopa Indian community lives on 52,000 acres of land near these major urban centers. Within their territories are farms, nature preserves, watersheds, and a herd of wild horses. As Art heads out from the community's town center towards open range, there isn't a single horse in sight, and he begins to wonder if the wild horse herd is nothing but an urban legend.
If the community did not put this program to protect these things together, what would happen to these animals?
Probably a lot like what's happening with other animals that aren't protected. They would die off. If you don't take care of them, if you don't help them, we're taking up so much land that they used to be able to roam in. If we don't do something to help them, they'll be gone.
So scarce feed,
yes.
Disease, all the whole
yes.
lack of nutrition, they'd eventually die out.
They would.
Whereabouts we're going to be parking.
We could start tooting, John.
So that's the magic toot?
It calls the horses in, but
that signals the ice cream truck is coming.
Strangely enough, once some of them start to feed, we'll have horses come in from all over, even after we've stopped honking the horn. And I have no idea how they can communicate with each other.
I have no idea either, because you can't see one horse out here.
Nowhere.
And they're going to just suddenly show up.
And pretty soon they'll be all over us. Yeah, just stop for a second. We'll throw a few out where they can see us from this distance, and we throw out a little bit of hay and then drive away. And they'll come up and look, and while they're eating it, then you do some beeping on the horn. It's kind of like Pavlov and Skinner. And pretty soon they start to get the idea. The part I love the most is after they don't need us anymore for food, when we get some rain and there's grass on the ground, right. They want nothing to do with us, and I love that. They go back to being wild.
Oh, here they come. Right on. They're really coming, all right. A few seconds ago, the place was bare. Now they're coming right out of the woodwork.
European explorers brought the first domesticated horses to the Americas in the 1500s. While the feral horses that live on the Pima-Maricopa's land may trace their ancestry to the Arabian horses that were first brought to America, their presence on the Arizona range today is likely due to being abandoned by their owners.
We started this program in the mid-90s as a result of the passing of a Salt River ordinance to protect the wild horses here on the reservation. At the time, when we first started, we had about 50 to 60 head. Since that time, the mares have reproduced to such a degree that the natural forage is not enough for them to sustain themselves. And so now we've got somewhere in the midst of between 250 and 300 head of Mustangs. We have about 11,000 to 12,000 acres of open range area. It's relatively undeveloped. We've tried various methods of reducing the herd. We did a joint study with USDA, National Resource Conservation Service, to determine what the carrying capacity of the land was, how many head could be properly supported just naturally, given the forage in the desert here. That number came between 60 and 75 head.
So you want to keep it at around that. So that now that you've exceeded that, is that why the adoption program started?
Correct. We started an adoption program to community members specifically at first with a minimal adoption fee. That's had some moderate success. Recently we've instituted large-scale donations to other tribes.
So what would an adopter, if they were to take a small herd of 5, what would their main interest be besides saving the animal? Are they going to be using them for breeding? There probably a lot of these animals are too late to train and to tame usable, rideable horses, are they?
Well, that's open for debate, I think. There are several people out there who take, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6-year-old horses and make them rideable. It's possible. It just takes a lot of work. It takes a lot of work, and to make the horses more adoptable, we started doing gentling of some of the colts that we receive in the facility.
So these are the ones that are separated?
Correct. In the facility now. And we're working real hard to get them gentled, to get them halter broke so that we can make them a little bit more adoptable.
So Cricket, on a typical day, how much would you feed these corralled ones? So about...
That'd be for one horse.
One horse, and they get this amount twice a day. Eh?
Yeah.
Keep it separate from each other, I guess, or they're going to end up scrapping. Or...
Pretty much, but...
I'm going to feed that old gray mare there.
Yeah, that sounds good.
That's a stereotype old gray mare.
Old gray mare.
Way back. It's calling for her lunch. Lucky horse gets her salt.
Her minerals.
Minerals.
In the tub.
Oh yeah, right. There you go, old mare. These little ones are separated from the big wild herd. Why are they isolated?
We got these ones up for adoption. We're trying to reduce the herd, so this is a way we saw in the outlet how we can reduce the herd and show a positive effect on the community.
So you're beginning the training process, getting them used to human interaction?
The interaction between human and wild horses,
So what are the secrets of a real horse whisperer?
Speak softly.
So what are some of the places that you have shipped horses off for adoption?
We have sent them to a tribe in New Mexico. We're working with a big donation to the Comanche tribe in Oklahoma now for 70 head. I'm talking to the San Carlos Apache tribe south.
Yeah.
They have some beautiful pasture down there, and they may want to increase the genetic diversity in their herd. After a while, you need to get some fresh blood in there just to keep any recessive genes from becoming dominant.
So after spending all this time with these horses, you must get to start picking some out. What would you pick any out here that you would think are a little more gentle, might even be approachable, might even be able to eat out of your hand?
Well, there are some. Now, Raleigh is very good at it. We have a guy here that works for me, a Hopi, and he's got that inner quietness.
Yeah.
Raleigh can actually walk up to some of these wild horses, and they'll let him come up.
So you've been working with these wild horses?
It hasn't been that long, but it's probably about 6 months I have been working with these guys.
But I heard you're a natural as far as your calmness and approach.
Yeah,
and what's the key to that?
I grew up with my grandfather's at his ranch, so I know a little about horses. And
What do you enjoy most about being out here with these animals?
it's a lot of fun feeding them, the way they act. You know which one's gonna act if you want to catch that horse.
Do you start picking up on their
Yeah,
habits and
yeah.
personalities?
Yeah, because every one of them's got one of their own, so that's how I figured them out. And then sometimes they just come up to you.
So they're pretty intelligent.
Yeah.
Some of these have blue eyes.
Yes, they do. And there's a funny little story about that. Some of the Indians say that blue-eyed horses are special and only the shamans can ride them. They're a magical horse. And some of the cowboys say a blue-eyed horse is a crazy horse and it's no good. So when your blue-eyed horse, if you happen to get one, when he gets a little older, depending on how he behaves, you decide whether he's a cowboy horse or an Indian horse.